Zach Ginn here.
Rick Ginn here.
And welcome to our first emergency meeting episode where we got to talk about virtual wholesaling, the state of virtual wholesaling this year, and exactly how you can get your first virtual wholesaling real estate deal in the quickest amount of time. So as someone that's done a lot of virtual wholesaling deals and as someone that has kind of discovered virtual wholesaling, I want to show you exactly what you need to know, exactly what you have to know. And we're going to be with the Mr. 3000 Wholesaling Real Estate Deals man, Mr. 2000 Wholesaling Real Estate Deals man, of exactly what we have done in virtual wholesaling, how we continue to dominate it, and how you can do the same exact thing. So first and foremost, everyone wants to know, why are you in a sling today? What's going on here?
I had to get some shoulder surgery to correct just a nagging problem. So I went in, got it done, and I'll be fine in a few weeks. So I just got to keep it in a sling for 2 weeks. So, just make sure you warm up before you work out, or you wind up like an old man like me. So it's no big deal, just some minor shoulder surgery that I got late last week, and I'm just recovering now. But I don't want to miss out on my videos and meeting with you guys. So we thought we'd kind of have this meeting and do it together. So I'm good.
Perfect. So we're calling it an emergency meeting because I truly believe it's very important for everybody watching this to go out here and get their first virtual wholesaling deal. It's an act of emergency for you guys out here because a lot of you guys are in some emergency situations. Can't pay the bills. You got to get rich. You got to make a change in your life. I don't think I'm being drastic when I say that today, right? There's a lot of people that need to make some big changes in their life. And we're here to tell you about how to do it today. What virtual wholesaling real estate is kind of looking at right now, what we have seen, what you need to start doing, and again, how to become the most successful virtual wholesaler you possibly can. So let's talk about this. Let's break this all down and let's have a genuine conversation of exactly what it's going to take for you to become a rich, successful virtual wholesaler right now. So we got to talk about the first thing, and I think something that's very important for a lot of people. They're getting a virtual wholesaling. They want to get some deals. They want to understand this. But right now, this year, what's virtual wholesaling looking like? What is the state of the market 2024, right? Well, I can be completely honest with you and kind of tell you what's going on. I get a lot of people saying, oh, virtual wholesaling's dying. They're making laws and all these and honestly, like, these are all gimmicks. These are all distractions. If you listen to anyone in the virtual wholesaling real estate space, they're all here to sell you something, just kind of give you some misinformation, tell you, oh, you got to do novations instead. And this is the method. And that it's not that, boss. Okay. What truly is in virtual wholesaling, it is still the gateway for anyone to get rich very, very quickly and to become very successful. The truth is there are more virtual wholesaling deals being done now than there really ever has been in history. This is not because this is the best time in the world to ever get into virtual wholesaling. No, on the opposite, there's more virtual wholesalers than ever. But the truth is, when there's more virtual wholesalers, there's more people looking for opportunities. I don't think a lot of people truly understand this. If you look at the wholesalers, when you were starting out back in the good old days, early 2000s, right? There was a good amount. They're talking to sellers, but no one really knew their options. Even to this day, most people don't know that you can get rid of your house for cash. They all thought, I thought I had to use a realtor, right? And the truth is, with the advent of these TikTok virtual wholesalers, these people around the country, and this wholesaling real estate niche, right? It was like a little niche, right? Like 100,000 people doing it maybe in the country. There are millions of people now. And that means if there's millions of people reaching out to homeowners versus hundreds of thousands, the information comes out there that you can sell your house for cash and all these crazy things. And more people are wanting to take the cash out option. And so there hasn't been more like wholesaling deals per se, like classical, but us wholesalers are creating more deals. And my favorite part, we're getting rid of more realtor transactions and turning them into wholesaling transactions, right?
Yeah. And guys, keep this in mind too, is I know like one of the biggest complaints you have out there is, oh, it's so saturated. I had this same complaint when I was 2003. You know why? You have to ask yourself, is it legitimate? Like, did you verify the number? Did you actually go in and verify how many wholesalers there are? Or are you using it as an excuse? And here's the truth. Most of you are using it as an excuse. In 2003, that was my complaint, my excuse. Oh my God, there's so many wholesalers. There wasn't. It was just in my head because you know what? There was other people doing it, but you don't know the level of what level other people are doing wholesaling. Yes, there's a lot of people out there learning wholesaling. Yes, TikTok's attracted a lot of would-be what I call wholesalers. But here's the really good news. If you're watching this with me and Zach, most people do wholesaling. They don't know how to do it. In fact, most of them are just speculators. And the minute they hit an obstacle, they're going to be done. So yes, there are more people than ever doing it. But here's the good news. Very few people teach the way me and Zach do it, teach about getting relationships, teach you how to have conversations, and teach you how to be authentic. And that's the difference. Most people just go in, what do you want for your house? What do you want for your house? And they write a contract and they try to lie all the way till the end. And I'm here to tell you, if you do it the way we teach you, you really don't have a lot of competition. In fact, there's very little competition still to this date because everybody wants to spend 5 minutes on TikTok and learn how to wholesaling. It's not that easy. In fact, wholesaling is actually not hard at all. It's just us humans make it really, really complicated. And I'm here to tell you, stop telling yourself it's saturated because eventually you're going to believe it. But the only saturation I think is if you're in like a major metro market area, say Miami, Manhattan, San Francisco. These are established, and this is how virtual wholesaling came to advent. But here's the cool part is now anybody can do virtual wholesaling. Even if you're in a soft market, you can add virtual wholesaling. So that's why we want to talk to you today and just let you know, you're going to look back in 2024 and go, holy moly, I had the opportunity of a lifetime to get into virtual wholesaling when you could do it anywhere. There was no problems, and I could pick any city I wanted to do it in. I never even wrapped my head around this when I got started. I was just like, I thought you could only do it in your own city. So open up your mind, think back when the internet was started, think back when you could invest it in the Google stock, all this stuff. When you're doing it in the time, that's when it seems the hardest. And I'm here to tell you, most people never deep dive on how to do wholesaling. They only learn how to be one-hit wonder speculators. We don't teach you how to do that. If you learn how to engage people, have conversations, and be authentic, your saturation levels go down to nearly nothing. Remember, it's like baseball. Even Babe Ruth, what did he bat? Like maybe 280, 300? That means 7 out of 10 times he struck out. You are going to strike out a lot in wholesaling, but I'm here to tell you, if you learn the art of wholesaling correctly, your opportunities are unbelievable. You're going to go back to 2024 and go, dang it, the Ginn showed me the opportunity, but I was too busy talking about my excuse on saturation. Saturation will always be the number one excuse. It was when I started, and it still is today. So look at yourself and go, unless you're in one of those markets I just mentioned, ask yourself, is it an excuse? Is it a reason why I can stall and not do wholesaling? And then the next thing, ask yourself, are you actually doing wholesaling? And remember, wholesaling has 4 main parts to it. 4 ingredients. It's real simple. You've got to go direct to the seller without a realtor, in my opinion, most of the time. They've got to be willing to sell their property, right? There's got to be some form of motivation, and there's got to be some sort of motivating factor. You put those 4 together, it's a great wholesale deal. If you're chasing anything other than that, you are not wholesaling. And that's the truth. Most of you guys that I talk to and that Zach talks to, when you tell me your problems, like the problem is you're not wholesaling. Oh, I found this property. It was with a realtor. And I'm like, and every question I ask you guys, when you guys send me message, everything, I go, how'd you find the deal? If you tell me how you found the deal, tell me where it came from. I can tell you if you're on the right path. But most of you go, hey, tell me if this is a good deal. And all I have to ask you is, tell me where'd you get the deal from? And 9 times out of 10, I'll direct you on the right answer. So guys, look back 2024, you're going to go, oh my God, I had the opportunity of a lifetime and I let it slip through my hands. Don't let it happen, because this is how I found wholesaling. This is how Zach found it. And this is exactly why we're having this meeting with you right now.
So the thing about it is a meeting between you and me and Rick, and we're all sitting with you at a table and we're telling you an emergency of how you can get your first deal, because this is truly what it is. So your first question, if you're like, I just came from an Instagram reel, where I just came from some guy told me, he's watching this the Ginn guys. What's going on here, right? I don't understand, right? I live in Botswana, I live in Nigeria, I live in South Africa, Slovenia, Slovakia, and I got told I can make a bunch of money. What's going on, right? And so let's kind of break it from the top here. It just for the beginners out here not knowing what's going on. So what is virtual wholesaling? What are we talking about today specifically? So virtual wholesaling is the method, and I truly believe, and just a quick tangent, if you're used to regular wholesaling, I truly believe virtual wholesaling in the next 10 years is going to extremely outpace in-person wholesaling. When you look at when I first started wholesaling, for every 10 wholesalers, there was one virtual guy. Right now, for every 10 in-person wholesalers, probably four or five virtual people. Our largest viewer base now, not like the growth wise, is in 3 main countries. This is crazy. It's number 1's Canada, number 2 is Nigeria, and number 3 South Africa. What do all 3 of these countries have in common? First and foremost, they all can't wholesale real estate. And so wholesaling real estate is the art of finding somebody that wants to sell their house in the United States of America, writing up a piece of paper, an agreement to buy said property, then selling said property for a finder's fee. So the best way to visualize wholesaling real estate is if I agree to buy your house for $100,000, I say, oh, you looking to sell it? I'll buy it for cash. Oh, 100. Okay. We write up an agreement, a purchase and sale agreement to buy it for $100,000. Then from there, what we do is we sell. Actually, I'll just go to like Zillow. I'll cold call a rich landlord, say, hey, you looking to buy more rentals? Of course, I'm rich. I have plenty. I want to buy more, right? That's how rich people get rich, is real estate in the United States of America. Say, okay, well, you want to buy this like $110,000? Yeah, I'll buy it for that. Okay, so what you do is you sell that contract to them, and you basically get a $10,000 finder's fee. $10,000 check in your hand. No experience, no, you can do this in a month, right? You make 40, 50 grand a month. There's people like me that are making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month doing this. And the point of this strategy is it works, and you usually had to do it in person. Now, virtual wholesaling is different. It's the method of doing this, but over the phone, over the internet. And all you need to do is an internet connection, and you can wholesale a bunch of houses, make a ton of stinking money. And now, number one, that's the first thing they all have in common, right? Is those 3 countries, South Africa, Nigeria, and Canada, is number one, you can't do regular wholesaling in those countries. Number 2, these are large, if you look at the population of the countries, it's almost the size of the United States, those 3. And they all speak English pretty much. It's crazy. Canada, most of them speak English. South Africa, most of them speak English. And guess what? In Nigeria, I know it doesn't seem common, but like they speak a lot of English there. And the coolest part about this is they're coming for your necks. I'm just being honest with you. A lot of you wholesalers that are used to this, they're coming for your necks. If you look at a statistics of the largest SAT scores by immigrants in the country, of parents of sons and daughters of immigrants, you know what country that is? Nigeria. People that are from Nigeria and they move to the United States, their sons and daughters have statistically the highest SAT scores. You tell me what that means, but it's just natural intellect. And these people speak English and they're very smart. And so there's a lot of competition coming down the pipeline. And the truth is there's so many wholesaling deals to be made, and we're finding more wholesaling deals are being done every year. That's something to be scared about, but I'm just giving you a fact that you can go anywhere in the world, start calling people up and locking up contracts in the United States and selling them for big assignment fees. And we're cutting out realtors. We're not cutting out all the wholesalers. We're going to be fine here. And virtual wholesaling real estate is this process. This process we're going to talk about today. We're going to give you a game plan. We're going to tell you what to do for you to get rich. We are not here to go tell you to do anything or sell you something. We're here just to give you the information you need to know to get rich wholesaling real estate. I understand that most of y'all out here, you don't have any nickels to rub together. You're like, I got no money. How do I do this? How do I get rich? What's the process? Let's talk about it. How do you get your first virtual wholesaling deal? Now, it's not as complicated as you think. Now, let's talk about really quick. How did I get my first virtual wholesaling deal? I'll be completely honest with you. I did a lot of wholesaling real estate in Port St. Lucie, right? And that helped me out a lot on my journey doing in-person. When I went to college, I couldn't wholesale there. you've never really did much virtual wholesaling. You didn't really know what's going on there. And it's like, oh, what do I do? And you know how most men, I said this on my live stream yesterday, and this is the absolute truth. Most men don't do great things until they have to. You agree with that statement?
I agree.
So unless you have to, you won't do it if you're a man. For example, most men won't jump in a burning building in general. But if their child's in there or a dog, they'll probably go in there and save it, right? Most men won't go out here and start a business or try to do something crazy until they start having a kid. See, a lot of people are bums and they have a kid and then, whoa, I got to start working, right? They start working a lot harder. You know, same thing with moms. Have you ever seen a single mom? Usually if you look at before and after they become a mom, they start working a lot crazier hours. Is it because they naturally want to? No, because they have to, right? Same thing for me. Either do I just start going from making hundreds of thousands of dollars to making no money, or do I figure out this virtual wholesaling thing? I mean, it was really rare to have any videos about wholesaling real estate when I started out, but virtual wholesaling was a whole different gimmick, $5,000 courses, all these things. And I basically learned some skills from cold calling. I used that. I learned how to just tell people through trial and error of exactly what to say to get them to sign a contract with me. Have the runners go through the house, inspect it, buyers, all these things. And I kind of created my whole virtual wholesaling process. And kind of when I came back doing in person, I kind of had that knowledge died until I said, you know what? Let's try Knoxville. Let's try these South Carolina. Let's try Virginia, this Richmond weird area no one talks about. And it really exploded things like crazy. And I know I look young. I'm an old man in wholesaling. Over 7 years, going to almost be 8 years of wholesaling real estate. A lot of deals. This business is nuts. And so how do you get your first virtual deal, right? So I've been through all this hassle, struggle, objections, what to say for me just to give it to you in this video, this meeting right now, so you can become successful. And honestly, I got no virtual wholesaling course to sell you. So let me just give you my best info right now of how you get your first deal, right? We're talking about how I did it back then, but how you can implement it now to actually do really, really well. I think a lot of people are scared to start virtual wholesaling, but I'm telling you, you got to do deals and you can get rich. So let's talk about this. Number one is finding the right virtual wholesaling market. Woo! I'm telling you right now, this is probably one of the biggest misconceptions. What makes a good virtual wholesaling market, right? In my statistically, from all the JV deals we do, from me trying a bunch of markets and failing really badly, and me finding markets that worked really well, I found three distinct criteria. Three distinct criteria when it comes to if a virtual wholesaling market is going to be good or not. Heck, this works for any wholesaling real estate market. And I sound like a broken record saying this, but I can't really change the criteria of a good wholesaling market, and your guru ain't going to tell you, okay? Number one, this is easiest, is there a decent population? Population drives an economy. With a higher population, there's more people wanting to rent and more people wanting to live. So it feeds the flippers, it feeds the landlords. These are our customers. These are people that actually give us our assignment fees, right? These people we sell the wholesaling contracts to. They are men and women that buy houses to either rent it out and make money, or they buy the house and flip it and then make money from there, right? And there's end buyers, but we really don't sell to them, right? If there's a high enough population, there's enough demand for this. There's always people moving to and from Memphis where they want to sell the house, then people want to move to Memphis. Same thing in Dallas, Houston, any bigger city, right? And number two, this is another important criteria here. This is going to be the median home price. You don't want prices to be way too high, okay? There's bigger risks when prices are high, and it's a lot tougher to do. Let me give you an example. The amount of people selling their $100,000 house for a 30% discount is pretty high if they got a motivation, right?
Yeah.
What are the amount of people selling their $3.4 million mansion for 30% discounts with motivation? Still very low. And the truth is just, it's a statistical truth of most human beings, that the higher the value of something, the less of a discount you're willing to take to sell it. Just being honest, most people, there are a select few people that'll take a 60% discount. So they'll take if they bought a Toyota Corolla for 10 grand, they'll sell it for 6 grand just to get rid of it, right? If it needs a lot of work. Most people are not going to sell their $600,000 Rolls Royce Phantom for $10 grand. They'll sell it for for, yeah, there's $600,000 Rolls Royce Phantom for 350. They're not going to do it.
Never.
They're not going to do it. But it's the same discount percentage. It don't matter, right? Like it's a fallacy. And so you have to find a market where the prices are low enough where you can get good discounts, but high enough we can still make $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 deal. It's all about finding that sweet spot of finding people that want to sell their house for a discount. So how do people find, so what makes someone want to sell their house for a discount so we can make money off of it, right?
I mean, so there's this little thing called a pawn shop. I know it's in America. I'm sure it's all over the world, but
Rick Harrison.
but people come in and people have issues. And I've always told you, wholesaling, so many of you guys think of it the wrong way. Wholesaling is it's not about the real estate. It's actually, the real estate is just a side effect of what the problem is. And the problem is humans. And this thing called life gets in the way. People die. People get divorced. People get fired. People break up. People upsize. People downsize. People get sick. People get transferred in their job. And they got to make decisions quick. I know even before I wholesaled, I had multiple these things happen to me. And I had to make a decision. Now, I didn't wholesale my properties, but it happens. By the way, guys, I've been a motivated seller while I was a wholesaler. I've owned a lot of rental properties. And when tenants really trash them and really put you in a bind and you got mortgage payments on it, your incentive to sell goes through the roof. And the reality is, why would somebody sell something at a discount? It happens every day with your car. Any of you that have traded in your car at the dealership, you got wholesaled. End of story. Do they charge more for the new car? Yeah, they probably hit you with financing, everything else. The bottom line is people have issues. And when people have issues and they don't take care of them, they build up fast. And so they need the factor of speed and convenience, which is basically what we offer. But here's the third quality that, like me and Zach teach, that nobody else does. We teach how to do it dignified and how to honor them. Meaning, we get how many houses we bought where they go, listen, my sister has this certain types of disease. We don't want other people in the house. We don't trust them. We've had people with Tourette's. We've had people with mental illnesses, you name it. And the thing is, they're like, we just want to get this done because the realtors will beat the crap out of us. We don't want the inspection, and I can't stress it out. I once bought a house. I swear to you. Their son, he was an adult, but he had some sort of mental disorder. And he sat by the thermostat. And they said he'd check it 300 times a day. And there's nothing they could do. So they goes, listen, when he comes in and starts screaming about the thermostat, don't react. And they prepared me for it, and I did it. And they taught me words to encourage him, accomplishment. And within 30 minutes, they're like, you're the person of the house. You understand us. You get our son. You understand what we're dealing with. We've tried for 20 years to fix this. We can't. And that's the difference between me and like most other wholesalers do it. I didn't go in on price. I went in like, how can I fix your problem? And if you want to help people out and fix their problem and you love doing this, that's great. Here's the cool part. The real estate's just the math problem part of it. It's just a math problem. So you got to learn how to converse with people, how to connect with them. And I've always told you, I don't have a sales course for you because I don't teach sales and wholesaling. We find people that fit the mold, and they're far and few between, but when we find them, and then we just help them. And once you do that, people will sell you houses at discounts. The people that won't sell you houses at a discount are rich people that put it on MLS with a realtor. Why? Let me ask you, how am I going to converse with someone if I have to go through a realtor? The only thing the realtor is ever going to communicate to them is the price. And you're never going to win just on price alone. And this is a difference in wholesaling. And I try to beat it in everyone's head. If you're going to be the transactional wholesaler, you are going to get killed in this market. If you want to be an authentic person that wants to connect with people, you will get the discounts. Because 9 times out of 10, people always tell me, you are not my best offer, Rick, but you're the best person to buy the house. And if you can do that, you will win every time. Let me ask you this. If you need a new roof on your house and a good friend of yours is a roofer, do you even call 5 other roofers? No, you call your friend. You expect them to take care of you. And as long as they respect you, honor you, and treat you with dignity, 9 times out of 10, they get the business. We're the exact same way. You just got to understand that. And a lot of people are like, how do you sell me a house on a discount? There's no way they're ever going to do it. Dude, thousands and thousands and thousands of time. It happens over and over again. It happens to me and Zach every day. Why? Because we're wholesalers. We understand what we're looking for. We don't waste our time in places where people have almost a zero probability of selling us a house at a discount. So listen, I like to go fishing, but sometimes I'm fishing in the wrong spot. And once you get the data back and you're getting no one to say yes, no one's making an offer, you've got to move. And wholesaling is the same thing. We fish in a different pond than realtors and what we call real estate fix and flippers and investors and all these creative deals. We look for people that have problems. You find the problems. That's why we have you chase down all these special lists we teach you over at freewholesaling.com. Guys, it's not hard. But I used to frustrate. My first 2 years, I thought I could convince everybody to sell me their house. And it got to the point I almost quit. I got so frustrated. I know a lot of you are watching that. You're in this position. It's because you're not diving in deep on wholesaling. It is a very, very narrow niche, what we do. And if you understand it and you know where to drive your energy, the rest is actually easy. But the reality is you guys are trying to force round pegs into square holes, and you're not going to get anywhere doing that. I've done it. Guys, there's a reason I've been doing this 21 years. I know exactly where to look for these deals. Is there more people chasing them? Yes. But here's the good news. There's a lot of idiots chasing these deals. They don't know what they're doing. They're purely transactional. So if you listen to us, remember, I can't teach it all in here. Go over to freewholesaling.com. I teach you from start to finish, not only how to get your first deal, how to make your first 100K. And I would love to meet you guys in person and connect with you. I'm just telling you, wholesaling is the key, but you got to make sure you're starting out doing the business of wholesaling, and make sure you're just not going out there making offers on houses that are for sale. That's not wholesaling. I don't even know which, I guess you just call it speculating. What do you call it?
I guess speculating. It's an issue. I see a lot of people out here locking up for too high, but I just don't think they have the knowledge, right? That's why I go to freewholesaling.com, learn how to do it. But so finding the right market, the two criteria is high enough population, and you want the median home price to be low enough so they take a discount. I've statistically found a county population of at least 100,000 people is the population criteria. And then number two is going to be median home price at least, let's say let's call it 450, $450,000 or less. Those two criteria makes a good virtual wholesaling market. Now, what's the third criteria? A lot of people ask me, and this one I've kind of been doing more and more lately is, do you know anyone else, or heck, even online posting checks that are being successful there? It's kind of a monkey see, monkey do effect. But like, if there's 4 or 5 other wholesalers that are absolutely crushing it out here, just being honest, I hate that word, but like that are just making a ton of money, maybe doing 3 or 4 wholesaling deals every single month. Maybe that's a good market, right? I hate to say it, but like, you got to look at the statistics. So you look at me, if I'm making 6 figures in Port St. Lucie, Florida, maybe I should do that, right? I just monkey see, monkey do. And so a lot of people think, oh my gosh, a guy's doing well there, I should not do what he's doing, right? Look at any top company. So let's look at Apple, right? The top makers of iPhones. If somebody, just being completely honest with you, if somebody made an Android phone, oh my gosh, they make smartphones too. Should I not make an iPhone? It doesn't matter. There's a market for it. If they're doing well, you can go in there too, right? If you look at Nike, I mean, at least Adidas can still make something, right? It's not like I should not give up. Like I should just give up because there's a competition. Competition shows there is a demand there. And so things in pizza shops, right? Oh my gosh, there's already a pizza shop in New Jersey. Yeah, there's a lot of them. You just got to do really good at what you do. So find the right market is really important here. I'll tell you, just find one. I'm not going to say which ones because like, oh, this is the best market right now. Go do it. Then everyone's going to start doing it. Figure out kind of my criteria and use it for your own, and you do very, very well. So let's talk about the top lists starting out here in virtual wholesaling, right? What kind of list can we pull to actually get results? And there's a wide variety of lists to pull. What I'd tell most people watching this is, I'm guessing in my mind, you don't have $4 or $5 grand a month in marketing. That's my guess. So let's throw out Facebook ads. Let's throw away paying $5 grand for a guru program. Let's throw away PPL, PPC, SEO, TTF, FLO, GRO, whatever acronym people use to take money from you. Okay, whatever it is. What you need to start doing is just pulling lists that the government provides for free of people that are motivated to sell their house. Now, I know that sounds crazy. If you're brand new, if you've subscribed to this channel for a while and you've heard us talk, this is, oh, here he goes again. Here he goes again. But it's insane to me that the government provides lists to you for free of people that want to sell their house for cash, pretty much. A list of people that are highly likely to. And it's kind of it's yours for the taking. Just being completely honest with you. And so what should you do? Go out here and get the list. There's a wide variety of lists. We have a free wholesaling course called freewholesaling.com. The word free, the word wholesaling.com. So freewholesaling.com. It's our free real estate wholesaling course where we teach you how to do it absolutely for free. Zach, why do you have a course? Just teach me on YouTube. Well, YouTube has privacy policies where if I screen share exactly what I'm doing, YouTube takes the video down. Is it the Matrix? No, you can't give addresses and names and all these things anymore on YouTube. So I have a private server. I spend tens of thousands of dollars a month keeping this website up because it has hundreds of thousands of people, the data, the storage. It's insane to keep the servers up, but I do it for free because the people need to have this information. Now, virtual wholesaling. The top lists are government lists. These can be code violations, people that have ugly houses. Code enforcement goes and puts fines on those ugly houses, tall grass, structural damage, mold, mildew, whatever. There's fire damage properties that went on fire. There are pre-foreclosures. These are lists of people not paying the mortgage. Not paying the mortgage. They might want to get rid of the property for cash. Duh. There are tax liens, people not paying their taxes, their property taxes. There's tax delinquencies. I can go on and on forever. These are great lists. Next here, we have what we call earned lists. Now, we can't really drive for dollars for virtual wholesaling. That is one of our main issues. But we can go virtually drive for dollars. You can use dmzac.com for it. It's a great service to use it. Heck, you can even go out here and just go to a paid list, listrei.com. That's PropStream. You can do zacdata.com. That's batch leads. Batch leads has great quality data too. Heck, you go to dmzac.com, Deal Machine, and go get their data too. Heck, even for like $100, you can go to dmzac.com right now, get a free trial. You can pull a list of the high equities, skip trace for free on dmzac.com, and you can get a list of 10,000 skip traced phone numbers right now in the next minute, and just start calling these people up and getting wholesaling deals. It's not as complicated as you make it, right? So you can pull lists. Then from there, you got to make a decision what you want to do. You can cold call them. You can text them. You can find other wholesalers. We're going to talk about this a little later and have them be free employees for you. I've done it a lot, and I'm going to continue to tell you how to do it. Virtual wholesaling lists are going to be really good to use those. Get their phone number and reach out to them. I would say for the majority of wholesalers watching this, though, you're going to have to pull a list and get their phone number. I don't think you should be spending $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 a month doing direct mail. I don't think you should do Facebook ads. I don't think you should do SEO, PPC. There are people doing well with it, but why are you going to drop $4,000 a month when you haven't even done your first deal, right? Like, heck, if you don't know how to talk to a seller or to go over any of the virtual wholesaling objections, you're fish out of the water, you're screwed. So it's really important here that we just get our first deal. We don't have to spend any money for it. We just become successful. Now, let's kind of talk about reaching out and closing virtual wholesaling sellers. Let's talk about the first thing here. If you're watching this from Slovakia, France, Romania, Brazil, you might have an accent. Vietnam, right? And you might think, oh my gosh, I have an accent. Oh no. Guys, let me give you some good information. There's a lot. I'm a statistics guy. I like looking at stats and numbers because numbers don't lie, stats don't lie, and results don't lie. Okay, facts always speak louder than opinions, and so facts over opinions. That's always a good saying. I know a lot of wholesalers that have accents that are thicker than yours that are making $100K a month wholesaling real estate virtually. So what does that show me? And I know a lot of wholesalers that have no accent that are making $0 a month. So what does that mean? Statistically, I don't think an accent's the sole factor for your success, right? because we live in the United States of America. Now, yes, if I'm going to try to virtually wholesale in France and I have a English accent, it's French culture, right? Like there's some immigrants, but not many. And they're basically coming from a lot of French speaking countries. So it's like, come on, right? Or at least speaking at least Creole or something. The truth in the United States of America, we're kind of a melting pot, right? Heck, if I go to the grocery store right now and my clerk, I'm in Florida, by the way. So there is I would say about a 15-20% chance the grocery clerk has a Spanish accent. It's not a bad thing. I don't care. Like it's like so like I don't even think about it anymore. If you go to Miami, it's about 70% you would see someone has an accent, right? A French accent, a Haitian Creole accent, right? Which is French basically. People speaking Portuguese and they have an accent like from Brazil. Like I don't even I'm in Florida, which is more immigrants than the average place in the United States. You don't really think of it, right? Like heck, we got a lot of New Yorkers watching this. You live in New York City, everyone's got an accent. Heck, New Yorkers have accents, right? And so the truth is, the United States of America, not many people are going to bat an eye on your accent. Heck, the richest man in the United States of America, Elon Musk, has an accent because he's from South Africa, right? And so like you're thinking about this, it's like, well, I guess an accent's not the reason why I'm not successful, right? Albert Einstein had an accent, right? Like all these successful people had accents. It's like it's not going to be the sole factor of why you're not going to be successful or not. And let me tell you the one last thing about accents, because I get people hammering me. Oh, I have an accent. I have an accent. The governor of California had a German accent. Arnold Schwarzenegger, the biggest movie star in the world, had a thick German accent. Did that stop him?
No, he actually, not only did he win the Mr. Universe, he went on to be a famous actor and then governor. And I mean, if you look at it, there's one pattern. He succeeded in every area he committed to. And why? Because
confidence.
That's it. Just his confidence. He just wanted it. How can you succeed in such an athletic competition? Call bodybuilding athletic or not, but it takes incredible discipline to do that. Number two, to be an actor, very hard. Like stand in front of a camera and try to act. It's not as easy as it looks. And number three is going into politics. That's you got to know the right people, and most people are career politicians. For him to accomplish all three, unbelievable. And listen, I think the guy's amazing, but if you just look at his confidence in each area of his life, he made it happen. I could barely understand the guy when he did Mr. Universe. And I remember he did the first few movies. I'm like, okay, they're just going for his physique. And then what did he do at the end of his movie career? He's doing comedy. He did one with kindergartners. Like it's insanity. And then to be, hey, I want to be governor. Okay. Everybody laughed at him and he just went ahead and did it. And you know what? A lot of you guys are in the same situation. You got to have confidence and believe in yourself. You know, when Zach started out wholesaling, he said, well, what do I do about my age? I go, well, what's the problem? He goes, am I going to am I going to have a problem? I go, it's only a problem if you make it a problem. See, most of you, the doubt is, I can't use my hand to do that, is right up in your head. And you keep telling yourself the same story. And then here's the really cool part. And Tony Robbins will teach you this. You can change that story anytime you want. If you don't think you can do wholesaling, you're right. But guess what? You can do it. But until you change your story and how you react to it, it's going to be the same old thing over and over. Most of you are a product of your school system, your parents, and your friends. And listen, I didn't wake up till I was in my 30s. I always had the gene in me. I just didn't know how to do it. I tried it every which way, and I didn't have conviction. And you guys know what conviction is when you make up your mind, a belief, and go, I'm going to go do wholesaling. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to dig myself out of this hole. I'm going to get financially free and freedom of my time. And then the first person who cocks their spear back and shoots a bow at you and sticks you in the back, and you're like, why would you do that? You're my own family. Why would you cut me down like that? And it tears you up. And you let your emotions and your feelings take over. Your conviction is your armor. I already told you they're coming after you. You're going to do what nobody else has the guts to do. And when you do it, they're all going to come after you. And guess what? You're not going to get any accolades till like 10 years into it. Sorry. I was 10 years in the wholesaling. Hardly anybody even knew I existed. And I was fine with it. And then once I get to the top and like, I don't need the money anymore, everyone's like, oh, you're a genius. Like, it's amazing what you did. I don't need the credit now. Like, where the hell were you 10 years ago? And I'm just telling you, you're only going to get the credit when you don't need it anymore, meaning you're financially free and you can do whatever you want with your time. And if that's what you're in this for, then who cares? Like, so many people want to be patted on their back in the first 3 or 6 months. Outside of me and Zach, you're not going to find a lot of people doing it. So if I teach you to expect that and people are going to shoot daggers at you, you've got to learn the conviction. And so summing it up, the whole thing with Arnold Schwarzenegger is, dude, that man came from a foreign country with a terrible accent with no connections and no money. And look where he wound up. So what's your excuse? And we talk about all these foreign countries coming in here taking advantage of wholesaling in the United States. You know why? Because they see the opportunity. You don't see opportunity because you're standing in it every day. You're like, oh, I bet it was easy back in 2003. It was brutal in 2003. I mean, everybody thought I was a freak in what I did. Everybody had a job back then. No entrepreneur was like, it was like a foreign word. Now everyone throws it around. Now everybody thinks they're an entrepreneur, but nobody makes any money. So you've actually got to apply yourself. Stop trying to impress people and oppress upon them. How? You just got to go to work. You are in an age where everyone's trying to sell you on the magical cure of how not to do wholesaling. Here's the cure to wholesaling. Do it. Because if you just go ahead and put in the work now, you'll be better off in a year or two from now. And I don't know if it's going to take you 3 months or 3 years. That's just the truth of it. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. If you want to run a marathon, I don't care if you're running 15-minute miles. That's what I used to run on a 15-minute mile. You know how you get down to a 6-minute mile? You just do the work every day. Go to a marathon runner and see if they buy the ads like, hey, I'll show you how to cut your time in half in less than 2 days. They know it's never going to happen. Why do you guys fall for it? So confidence is within inside you. You have to fester it. You have to start by believing in yourself. And number one, just change the story. If you guys would stop talking so negative to yourself and go, listen, if Rick did it, and guys, I tell you, one time I got to put up my SAT score. You ain't going to believe it. His is you could multiply mine by 3. That's what his is. It doesn't matter though. He has a high SAT score. I had a lower one. Wholesaling doesn't care about your education. It doesn't care what your parents do. It doesn't care about your financial background. It cares how hard you're going to work and are you going to stick to it. And when people shoot you in the back with your daggers and your bows, are you just going to pull them out of your back and keep moving on? Are you going to fight with them? Don't fight with them. Let them win their argument. You're right. Your job is better than mine. I don't have a job. And I'm just here to tell you, I told you all through school, you know what all my teachers told me? Is like, you're never going to get a good job, Rick. You're never. They were 100% right. But I was kicking and screaming the whole time. And you know what? They were right. I went out and I made my own career. I opened my own company. I did exactly what I want to do. And that's how most of you are at my channel right now. And by the way, give Zach props coming on my channel. I know he's trying to help out his old man while he's propped up here with the arm, but we did want to get the message out to you. And I want you to understand, a lot of you don't see the opportunity in front of you. And like, if I can tell you, me and Zach are 30 years apart, and he is here because I decided to make a change. And if you really want to make a change and you're tired of just settling for average, and listen, it's not going to be easy, but this is the result you can be. Your kids are tired of, listen, here's the truth of kids. They watch what you do and pay attention to that a lot more than what you say. What you say, the problem in America, everybody says it's like a broken record. Everybody says one thing and they do another. So we want to teach you show you how to walk the walk. You actually have to do it because that's how you lead your kids. Zach could have done anything he wanted to do. I didn't drag him in the wholesaling. You know why he did it? Because I spent a lot of time with him. And you know why? Because I didn't get that opportunity. It sucked. And our job is always to make it better for our kids, our family going forward. And that's his job going forward. He'll do better than I did. And that's it. You just spend time with him, but you got to make it count. Listen, take my analogy on a marathon. If people sit there and train their entire life to run marathons, they are never going to buy a course that says, I'll cut your marathon time in half in 48 hours. They know it's BS. And it's for some reason, everybody buys into it in wholesaling. And my job is just to put a smash like put my foot on it and say, listen, if you just do the work, everything sounds sexy, but the problem is those sexy pitches, the shortcuts actually make the work 10 times harder and you're going to quit. So confidence is within you. Just got to take it out. But here's the key to confidence. By doing the hard work, it will lead you to the path you want to get to. I just don't know why everyone's so scared to talk about the hard work of wholesaling. Wholesaling's easy. It's you that's the problem. I was the problem. Zach, when we all did it, I remember saying it can't be this easy. And it wasn't. It was just hard work. But like once I figured it out, man, like I can go produce money anytime I want. And once you understand not to trade your time for money and you actually trade your skill set and it's based about how many people you can actually help out, wholesaling is an awesome, awesome fit. So
I agree. So your accent don't matter. What you look like don't matter. It's about how much confidence you have and exactly how to do it. How do you gain confidence? By doing a lot of it. And so when it comes to reaching out to these virtual sellers, you're going to get a lot of questions. You're going to get a lot of objections. Who are you? Why don't you see my house? All these things, right? Your accent doesn't matter. Okay. First and foremost, somebody says, you seem very young to be talking to me. You seem you don't seem like you're from here. You have a Scottish accent. You have an English accent. What's going on? How are you going to buy my house? And my always quote I tell people, I've never had this called on me. I've had age called on me. And I've never had accents called on me is, will my accent affect me purchasing your house if I have the cash for it? Straight up question. Will my accent affect me buying the house if I have the cash? No. But are you in the United States or are you in England? Well, it really depends. So like I'll come back and forth from England. Like, is my accent going to affect it? And so you can say that. Another one I always tell people to say is like, oh, but do you live in England? I'm like, well, I was born in England and me and my partner, we are based in the United States. Like you can go meet him. He lives there in Memphis also. And just, you go from there, right? But like, it's not that complicated, right? You just got to answer it. So you seem young to buy a house. Was my age going to affect me buying the house if I buy it for cash? These little games you think in your head of the guy's going to say this or that. Oh, do you live in Nigeria? It's like, well, kudos for you knowing it's a Nigerian accent. But no, me and my partner were based in Memphis, and that's where we buy houses. Simple as that. Like you're reaching out to these sellers. It's not that complicated. They want to sell their house. You want to buy it. We're going to wholesale it. We're going to do well. So reaching out to these sellers is not as complicated as it seems. You do the MCTP, everything you teach in the free course. I'll show you how to do it. Now, when it comes to actually acquiring these type of properties and getting them under contract, this process is a little different than what you're probably used to. And what I mean by this is virtual wholesaling acquisitions is the same thing as regular wholesaling acquisitions, except we're just making the offer over the phone. And so it's a little different than regular wholesaling. And so when it comes to making an offer over the phone and getting a deal locked up over the phone, it's always the process of, okay, when are you going to come? And the seller says, well, when are you going to come see the house? When are you going to go physically see it? And most people say, right? They start flipping out. And the truth is, it's like, well, Mr. Seller, I can't wait to go see the property and everything. But the way our company works is we actually go get an agreement up front. We see a little bit of the house. We go get pictures. Then we get an agreement up front on the price, like an initial quote. And then we have an agreement written up. And then we'll dedicate the resources to go out there, inspect the property, and go forward with that. Now, us having a signed agreement will not affect us at all with closing or not closing. Once we have a set agreement, we stick to that. Unless there's a crazy situation or there's a hole in the roof or a termite you're not telling us about, we stick to that. But the way our company works, we try to be as efficient as possible. We want to make sure we're upfront with the agreement first, so don't waste your time or my time. So again, tell me a little bit more about the property. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, okay. Well, so it does have that. All right. And just, you go from there. And then you get into, okay, well, Mr. Seller, it seems like property is in okay condition. I mean, I know it needs a little work here and there. Are you ready to make a yes or no decision on selling it today? Oh, you got to think about your wife's coming home from work. Okay. Well, you talked it over with your wife. You let her know if we're the right fit for buying your house cash, and I'll give you a call back. You call me back when you guys are ready to make a decision on selling it. Go from there. Or they say, yeah, I'm ready to make a decision. Okay. Well, let me actually send this over to my partner, kind of get his opinion on this. we can go from there. Just so he knows, he's just going to ask me, like, what's a general price range you're looking to get rid of the property for? Okay. Well, let me go talk it over with him, and we'll see. And ring, ring, ring. Hello. Yeah. Hey, I'll talk to my partner, Rick. And he says this is a good property for us to be buying. And so I was talking over with him, and, I know you wanted $140,000 for it. He looked it over. He kind of looked exactly how much we'd have to put into it. And some things were a little more concerning than I was expecting. He's been flipping forever. He told me that we do have to do the new flooring. The roof definitely, because it's 15 years old, definitely has to be replaced. And he does think there is some mold issues. Now, again, this isn't going to affect anything when we go back and actually look at the property and really do the full look at it. We'll definitely know. It's not going to change exactly what numbers we're going to be at it. He was telling me he wanted to be at around $110,000 of the property. Just talk there, do the whole negotiation from there. And then you negotiate the best price. Say, okay, well, 115,000. Yeah, if that were, oh, I don't, 115. I mean, he was really at 110. How about this? You know what? He's a stickler. He's had me run around the city all day. If we can get an agreement done today, I think we can do 115. If not, I can't guarantee it. I'll probably have to run out and do something. Oh, you can't? Okay. Well, don't get off the phone with me, Mr. Seller. What I'm going to do is send you over an email of the agreement. Tell me when you see it. Okay, perfect. You see it. Now, just look at that. That's basically, it's called a purchase and sale agreement. That's basically our agreement for us to buy the house. The reason why we're getting it signed today is not because we're buying your house today or anything like that, but the reason why we're buying it today is we have to get an agreement signed so I can first get Rick off my butt here. We're buying the house. I don't have to go see anything else. We get everyone to take the pictures. We can get our people actually looking at it, getting quotes. But most importantly, we got to send that over to the title company so they can start running the title, making sure they get your information, how you can get paid, or you get a check, a wire, all these things. And we can kind of get the process going. Remember, closing usually takes people, months and months sometimes, but we do it pretty fast, pretty quick, pretty efficient, because we get the agreement signed as soon as possible. So I want you to read it over. I mean, it's pretty standard. We agree to buy the house for this price, and that's what it's going to be. We're paying closing costs. Read it over. Give me a second. I'm going to stay on the phone. You just let me know what you think. Blah, 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 blah. And then you basically go from there, and they say, well, on the bottom, there's a little thing for you to click it. It's pretty simple. You agree, you're good to go. And so that's basically how you get the contract signed. Now, I know it's a little ramble, a little just kind of off the cuff of my experience in training people. That's how you get a virtual wholesaling agreement signed. I know it sounds kind of crazy me ranting about it, but like, if you have the confidence and you say, this is the way it happens, this is how we do things, people listen to you. Mm-hmm. That's the way our company works. That's what we're doing. They listen, and then you get the results, right? That's how you get deals locked up. And it's the same process, except I just kind of walk them down a path and get the deal done as quick and easy as possible. Acquisitions is not as hard as possible. Is not as hard as you think. Okay. The offer, you guys are overthinking the offer. Make it low. Use a good cop, bad cop method. We teach at freewholesaling.com, and you should be fine. Now, you got to remember the way that I acquired the property here was it was done in a way where they know people are coming to the house, our cash buyers, and we get it dispoed and let them walk through. So it's like, how do I get pictures and all these things? Well, there's two ways to get pictures, right? You can either pay someone to do it, or you get someone to do it for free. Most guys, they'll go to Craigslist, Facebook, and just find someone to take pictures with their phone on it for 40, 50 bucks. It's probably the best option for most people. Or you can have your buyer take pictures, have them be the first person to look at it in exchange. Give them a little better deal, but it's going to cost you a lot of money to do that. It's probably a good way for a lot of people without any money. But again, here's the question. How do I find cash buyers? Up to you. You can cold call the cash sales, which is a list of people buying houses for cash. Listerarea.com, ZachData.com, DMZach.com. They all got that information. Heck, you can even go out here for the for rents and find rich landlords who have properties for rent. See, hey, I see you're trying to rent out 123 Main Avenue. I'm actually not looking to rent it. My name is Zach. I'm a wholesaler. And I actually have a property under contract on the same zip code. See if you're looking to buy it. It might be a good rental property for you. Go from there. Walk through the property. Obviously, got to qualify everything we teach in the course. And boom, you can go through the house and do it. You can have the cash buyer walk through themselves. You can have a partner walk through it with them. You can pay a realtor to do a walkthrough. It's up to you. I would say for most people, if if you have no money, I would probably just have a cash buyer just walk through it themselves. You could trust them, tell them if they've done wholesaling transactions, or you can stay on the phone with the guy. You can pay someone to just be a nanny, I guess, the best way to explain it. And that's how you get these type of deals dispoed or sold. There's really not a best way of getting pictures for free that won't cost you anything. Of course, there's no free lunch out there, but it's the best way for us to get something done. Just telling you, the disposition side is not as complicated as it seems. And then title companies. I get a lot of questions about title companies. In virtual wholesaling, the title company should be in the local city that we're doing the deal in. So if I live in Florida, I'm wholesaling in Fresno, California, I'm going to get a Fresno, California title company. Easy and simple as that, right? And it's virtual wholesaling is not as complicated as it seems. If you have the confidence, if you follow what we say at freewholesaling.com, you're going to be set, right?
Yep. It's a lot of you try to complicate it. You think, well, to be able to make this much money, it's got to be much more complicated. I'm telling you, the simpler it is, the more money you'll make. And one of the things I learned when I was teaching Zach this business, I'm thinking, okay, 16, 17-year-old kid, I knew he was smart, but the simpler you made it, the more action people take. If you give them way too many steps, they just get overwhelmed. Think about this, guys. You went to formal schooling for what? 12 years, plus some of you went to college, another 16 years before you really make your first dime, other than flipping burgers and stuff like that. And wholesaling, we're teaching you to do the exact opposite. And that's why it freaks you out. And a lot of you will wear your old goggles. And what do I mean by that? Like, say you took a corporate job and I got to be a professional. Like, nobody cares about this stuff in wholesaling. I don't want you to be a thug, but nobody cares about your degree. They don't care what school you went to. How many sellers did you actually connect with? When I say connect, not called, how many did you actually have a conversation with? If you got to call, say, 1,000 people to get 100 connections, then that's what you have to do. But like, if you're going to sit there and just count the stats, I called 46 people today. I didn't get anywhere. I quit. I'm done. I don't care. And see, that's the difference in wholesaling. Wholesaling, well, it doesn't care about your feelings. It doesn't care about your emotions. I know in today's society that sounds like really rough. It's the truth. That's why most people can't do this. So if you got the moxie to step up and do this, understanding they don't care about how many times you got chewed out. You know how many times me and Zach have been screamed at, laughed at. I've been chased. I've had dogs chase me. I've had people spit on me. I've learned. I used to go door to door, guys. I would do anything to get a wholesaling deal. I'm just telling you, you got a lot more tools today, and it's all there for you. So stop trying to take the old version of yourself, and then you try to, I can't do it with my arm. You try to pick and choose the pieces you like, and then you want to avoid the pieces that make you uncomfortable. You got to take the complete opposite approach. Stop breaking it down and trying to manipulate it the way you think it's going to go, because it's never going to work this way. This is not a 9-to-5 job. You are not paid by the clock. You might have to do a 100-hour week and you might not get paid for it. I know that's scary, but eventually you will get paid for it. Think about it. The guy that you ever have a guy come and work on, like I've owned so many boats in my life. I have a guy come over and like, I sit there and struggled 100 hours trying to figure out something that just won't work on my boat. I just don't understand. It keeps doing this over and over. Guy comes in 45 minutes. Oh my, he doesn't even tell me what he is. Like, I cured it. Like, I've seen this. I know I did it. Gives me a bill, sometimes $3,000. And you know what the old version of me says? $3,000 for 45 minutes of work. Are you crazy? And he turned around and he goes, I've done this for 46 years. I have cut my teeth. I've almost killed myself. I've just seen the problem a lot more than you, and I know where to go. And you've already spent 100 hours. And he goes, you have not even scraped your teeth on it. He goes, once you get to 10,000 hours, then you'll figure it out. So do you want to wait 10,000 hours, or you want me to do it in 45 minutes? I gladly pay the bill then. And see, a lot of you keep going, well, it's not fair, a wholesaler. How can you make 15 grand just by having a conversation with someone? It's a craft. It's a skill. And you're going to have to cut your teeth. You have to go on the real estate journey called wholesaling. And Here's the cool part. I've watched people try to put 100K come in, think they can buy their way into it. Nobody cares. Nobody cares if you pay 10K for a guru or anything like that. I know we kind of rip on gurus, but like, listen, if the shoe fits, wear it, buddy. Like the reality is the guru is typically not going to get you any faster because you have to make the phone calls. You have to make the connections. It is always up to you. And here's the problem with a lot of you guys that hire the gurus. They sell you on stuff and it sounds so good. And you think like, well, I'm going to learn how to run a marathon in half the time of everybody else. And you buy it. And then you don't understand your problem just started. And once your problem starts, then you actually have to go to work. And then guess what the guru tells you? It's your fault. You're not doing the work. And then you tell the guru, well, you told me you could cut my time in half doing this. He goes, yeah, if you do the work. And then you guys start blaming each other and nobody gets the work. So the reality is if you want it and you really understand that you're going to put in the hard work and you understand there's no substitute for success. Guys, Thomas Edison, 10,000 times the man failed inventing the light bulb. He spent most of his life failing and he finally got it right once. And then, when he got it right, his entire factory burnt down. His entire factory, all his work, all his paperwork, no computers back then. You know what he told his family? His brother, his sisters, his mom, they're all screaming and crying as it's burning down because pretty sure it was sabotage. Nobody proved it to this day. And you know what he said? He goes, guys, gather around. You'll never see a fire this bright. Enjoy it. He goes, you know why? Because I'm going to come back and I'm going to work harder and I'm going to build it twice as big. I know exactly what I need to do. He's like, God created a plan. He goes, I don't let things ruin what's going on in my life. He could easily just packed it in and called it a day. But you know what? He gathered his family. He goes, look at this amazing fire. His entire life work's burning up. His family's going nuts. They're all crying. Like everybody wanted him to play the victim card. He goes, no, man, I'm coming back bigger and stronger. He goes, you can't burn what's in my mind. 10,000 failures. It's unbelievable what he went through. And then back then, no computers, nothing like that. And he still forged through. My question to you, do you have the same mindset in wholesaling? Or do you let one person just go, oh my God, you are going to get swung at. You are going to be made fun of. You're going to be laughed at. And I'm just here to tell you, you've got to prepare your mind. You've got to go into this like a battle. And as I said, the really cool thing about wholesaling, what everybody loves and why most of you watching this, because nobody cares where you came from. They don't care what your family story is. They don't care how broke you are. Nobody gives a crap if you got a GED or a master's degree. But on the other side, wholesaling will also remind you, I don't care if your feelings get hurt. I don't care if you have an emotional outburst. I don't care if you quit on yourself. Are you coming to work today? If not, wholesaling will go find somebody else to come to work for you. The question is, are you going to show up? I promise you, you're going to get kicked. You're going to get kicked so hard. The question is, who's going to get back up? And that's all wholesaling is. So for all the opportunities it affords you, meaning it doesn't care about your background, your past, your education, your financial background, it also doesn't care about your excuses, your emotions. How are you feeling today? Are you a little under the weather? You're going to call in. You don't call in sick in wholesaling. You just do it because you are not paid by the hour. You are paid on by how many people you truly help out. So if you don't want to be transactional, you actually want to help people out and you understand. I love wholesaling because it's not biased. It does not care where I come from. And almost every other industry does. But on the other side, it's going to kick me in the teeth and tell me, I don't care about your little attitude. I don't care about what kind of crybaby you're going to do today. If you don't show up today, you are not going to make progress and make it work. And so if you understand that, that's been my life mission for over 20 years, 21 years now, and understanding it. Would you agree wholesaling, as fair as it is about not knowing background, on the other side is it's tough. It's like a UFC fighter. It doesn't care what fight you fought last week, last month. You're in the octagon. Are you going to go at it? Or are you just going to run? You're going to submit right away. And that's it. That's the difference. I know I use a lot of UFC references, but when you're in a fight and you're in a cage, it doesn't care. It doesn't care how many wins you have. Yeah, I know they do the odds favorites, but be the guy that changes the odds. You guys see the odds during the fight and it flips over. Just go do it, man. That's what I love about wholesaling. It's as awesome as it is, it also punches you in the mouth. And if you can understand both sides of the equation, you can do amazing things with it.
I agree. So that's how you do the title companies. That's how you do that process. But I will tell most people out here that it's all about the work you put in. Now, the last part we got to talk about here is how to get rich off of these new wholesalers coming in, these TikTok wholesalers. Another way is you can partner up with these brand new wholesalers that are getting into virtual wholesaling. So let's say, for example, you go out here and you live in Phoenix and you want to virtually wholesale in Chattanooga. Go find 3 or 4 kids in Chattanooga and have them put sticky notes out. You answer the phones, you close it, you do all the work. They get paid half the deal, but they're physically in Chattanooga putting out sticky notes for you. It's one of the best methods you can do. They're like little elite employees doing all these free things for you.
Micro bird dogs.
Micro bird dogs. That's a great name for it. Use these new TikTok wholesalers coming in and make money with them. Don't be like, no, work with them. Actually use them to get rich. Now you can become a successful wholesaler. So guys, you can get a deal in 2 weeks and get a deal in 4 weeks, a month. You can find your first deal as soon as possible if you just start implementing these strategies to become a rich and successful wholesaler. So let's answer some questions you guys have about wholesaling real estate. Remember, we do have a free course in wholesaling real estate. It's called freewholesaling.com. I'll show you exactly how to wholesale real estate step by step, absolutely for free. Also, guys, we're excited to announce we're doing a 3-day free live training challenge event, whatever you want to call it. People loved your last event, but we're going to do it only on virtual wholesaling, March 18th, 19th, and 20th. We're going to do them at 1 p.m. Eastern, Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. It's going to be a lot, but I think it's going to be really cool, really exciting, and probably a game changer for a lot of people out here. It's going to be a big event, but it's going to be like our 7 deals in 7 days challenge, but it's going to be for 3 days. It's going to be longer. And anything you need to know about virtual wholesaling is going to be there. So we're pretty excited about that. But again, go to freewholesaling.com, learn how to wholesale real estate absolutely for free. Let's answer your questions. So we got a lot of questions out here today. Diedrich says, when someone says to follow up with months out, June, for example, how should you follow up and how often after that? So if it is March right now, so March, April, May, June. So they say reach out in 3 months, reach out to them after a month. I know it sounds crazy, but half is the going in wholesaling. So I like to do a little less than half. It's usually the best way to follow up with someone. That's a good question. Appreciate it. Hello, Rick and Zach. I need emergency rich. So tired of being broke. Money seems like years away. How do I change my brokenness? Go to freewholesaling.com. Learn how to wholesale real estate absolutely for free. Yeah, so everyone wants to know how Rick got his shoulder hurt. It's from a sports injury, but it's from also carrying the wholesaling game on his shoulders. Let's see here. Jocelyn says, when is there an in-person event? So yeah, we do have an in-person event. It is April 24th, 25th in Dallas, Texas. It is in Dallas. It's free for anyone who's joined FlipDirect Plus. So you can send us a JV deal. Basically at sellmypair.com. You can join it for free and come and do it. Or you can pay to join FlipDirect Plus and just get the event. FlipDirect Plus, basically it costs whatever. Basically the cost of the event, we just divide that. It's a whole year, 2 free events. But unfortunately, we opened up FlipDirect Plus for a little bit and we exceeded the event capacity. And so we got permission from the fire marshal to make it bigger, which is nice. We might have to change some of the table arrangements, but we're good to go. Now, unfortunately, that means we can't accept anyone else in FlipDirect Plus right now. So whoever refunds, so we have a 30-day refund for anyone in FlipDirect Plus if you paid for it. But there are people that refund every day. But the problem is for every 3 people that join, there's not a lot of people are leaving it anymore, unfortunately. So whenever someone leaves or cancels FlipDirect Plus or refunds it, we'll allow someone to come in on the wait list. And so we have a wait list. It's hundreds deep now. I'm guessing by the end of the month, it's going to get even crazier. We might even hit 1,000 on the wait list, especially by the end of the year. So unfortunately, when someone leaves, we can invite one person in, and we're going to do that for a little bit. So if you want to join the wait list, hopefully you're the first 2 weeks in by the live event. Hopefully you can come in. It's like a club, I guess, right? You're outside the club gates. We'll give you an email, and basically how that works, if you want to know, is I'll have a work phone, so I'll text you on the work phone that we got the wait list, and then I'll text you if it's available. You'll get an email to join it. You'll have 48 hours to accept it. If not, the code won't work, and then we'll just go to the next guy on the wait list or gal. So that's how it kind of works. I mean, we might. I don't know how many people are going to come in anymore, but the wait list is large, so I don't want to talk about it anymore because I don't need it any bigger for anyone. But yeah, Flipbook Plus. If you want to join the wait list, do it now. If you want to come in enough time, you just got to do it fast enough. So yeah, I know people are upset right now. There's a wait list now and all this. I told everyone, I said 24 hours. I gave an email. I said 24 hours. So it'll be the cheapest it's ever going to be. I will guarantee you can come to the event and sign up now. Unfortunately, everyone did that, and we kind of sold out. We got lucky on the event, so we expanded it, and now we got the wait list. So how do I join the wait list? You can just go to Flipbook Plus, click sign up, and there's going to be like, oh, sorry, we're full. Click wait list, put your info down, and you go from there. Now, we are allowing some people on the wait list higher than others. One big priority is if you hopped on and talked to us one-on-one before, right? If you actually show some initiative. So we'll be texting you, seeing if you're good enough for it. But I'm telling you, just join the wait list. You should get an offer, hopefully, sooner than later. We'll see. But yeah, let's see here. All right, let's see what other questions we got. Let's see. So it says, I have some serious shortcomings if I live in the state. If I live in the States, I have no clue where and how to start wholesaling. How do you start wholesaling?
Freewholesaling.com.
Simple.
It's all there. And me and Zach put this course together how long ago now?
4 years ago.
3.5, 4 years ago. And we're constantly adding to it. We don't hold anything back.
It's updated.
Yeah, it gets updated. Everything's there. So start at freewholesaling.com. Jump on the lives. We do lives on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then you have my channel, which Zach's guest appearing on it. And then he goes live Sunday night, and subscribe to the channels. And that's how you get started. You got to take the action. You got to take the initiative and get started. It's not complicated. We've got nothing in the way. You got to jump on it and take advantage. Freewholesaling.com.
I agree. And for anyone watching this, right, if you want to get started, go to freewholesaling.com. And so there's some people complaining, oh, wholesaling's so hard. I like Risk Taker. He says, go find a guru, charge you 12 grand then, right? The truth is a guru charging you 12 grand to learn wholesaling, they're not going to tell you something that you don't know. They're going to make you feel good. That's pretty much it. That's how it works. They just make you feel good. It's all a trap. Guys, you don't need to be paying. You just go to freewholesaling.com. It's all in there. Send me some JV deals. We'll be good to go. And also, FYI, if you do send me a JV deal, we do the wait list now because we know how many deals we're closing on the JV deal. So and if you do JV, you'll cut in the line. You'll just get it instantly. So send me deals, sellmypaper.com, FYI. But yeah, it's at Luca, Zach, and Rick. Blessings for the community. Can't wait for the event. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Shout out to Luca. Luca was funny. When he came to the first one, he's like, I didn't pay a dime for this. I sent Zach a JV deal, and now I'm here.
Yeah.
It's just kind of funny, but I'm not gonna make fun of Luca or anything, but I made I made tens of thousands of dollars off those JV deals we did. So it was a good deal for me, a good deal for him too. And he got the deal done. So Jocelyn says, I'm so sad at the wait list. Yeah, sorry about that, Jocelyn. I don't know what else to tell you there. If you hop on it, hopefully you'll get in time. But yeah, we'll try to help you out best we can on it. So yeah. So let's see here. Carlos says probate lists or pre-foreclosure list for a beginner. I would say if you're a beginner, I think it depends. So if you're going to cold call, do the probates over pre-foreclosures. If you're going to text or reverse drive for dollars, pre-foreclosures is better for a newbie because it's more action. But everyone knows the best thing to do. Ready for this? Do both of them. Let's see here. Isabel says waitlist for the event. So you got to remember, you can't go to the event unless you're a member of Flipbook Plus. So the waitlist is for Flipbook Plus. Okay. That's it. Simple as that. Flip with Rick Plus. That's it. So you join Flipbook Plus, you get access to one free ticket, and you're able to go. Simple as that, right?
Yep. It's so guys, the way we set up the Flip with Rick Plus community, instead of doing like every other guru does, tells you a course, or you go to one event and it's this big pep rally of multiple speakers that won $10,000 a package. We make it a community, and it's a community of everyone who wants to thrive in wholesaling, and that's what me and Zach teach. And we actually have very advanced people there. I've had people I've started from day one that are just doing amazing things right now, and so we make the group very interactive. So wholesaling cannot be taught in a weekend, guys. If you think you can go to a hotel and go and get a weekend course, you're going to get pitched. They can't teach it to you in a weekend. So what we do with the Flip with Rick Plus is, I don't know any other guru who does this. You get me and Zach's DM. You can DM us, run stuff by us, and you connect with the entire community. And then we go live 4 times a week. We do an extended after our usual Tuesday, Thursdays. And then we have 2 other days. And me and Zach, we trade off. And then we go on there and we just work through. And a lot of people just sit there and soak in the information. But what happens is you learn from everybody else around you. Listen, to learn wholesaling one-on-one, what I have to charge you guys would be insanity. And it doesn't work. That's why scamsters go to it so much, because you guys fall for it. You need someone to work through. So the really cool thing is, like, you join Flip with Rick, we interact, you work on your marketing worksheets, you come out to the event, we work on marketing plans, and we just dive in. I don't take you on cruises. We still go grab a bite to eat. We do fun stuff, but like, everything's about wholesaling. And the idea is to make you a better wholesaler. And the idea is I got to make that time count as much as possible. So in the perfect scenario, if you're going to learn wholesaling, number one, you got to take the initiative. We just give you the dang course for free at freewholesaling.com. Flip with Rick Plus is designed to support you, give you more time with me and Zach, to help you really push yourself and let you connect with the community. And then when you come out to it, like, we already know you, you know us. And here's the thing, we smack you in the mouth. We're very, like, we tell you the truth the way it needs to be, because I didn't charge you 10 grand for it. And when you go there, you're actually working on it. You go there and it's like a huge interaction, and everybody wants to show up and like, oh my God, I got my first deal. And then we walk through it and you get to hear other people's successes, and we keep going. There's so many wholesaling courses. They tell you they're evergreen. It's a lifetime membership. Guys, none of that stuff works. You know how many lifetime memberships I've had over the last 21 years? Not one of them still exists. The Ginn name's still here. I've been doing this 21 years. You know, Zach's a lot younger than I am, and we're going to carry this on forever. We're looking to take a community all the way, and we're not going to quit. We're just going to keep going. So we want to grow it. So the idea is we want to grow with you. And if I really teach you wholesaling and I don't hold back, and you do deals with us, it's a true win-win situation. I make money, you make money. And then ideally is, like, eventually I teach you how to show, you can do commercial deals, you can do apartments. I got people doing such big deals, but it all started with the Flip with Rick Plus community, and we want to grow it. You can't go in and learn wholesaling in a weekend. Honestly, guys, a 90-day boot camp, it's kind of tough. So we designed it as we grow with you, and we want you to succeed. So we teach you all the tools we have, but you got to put the work in. Me and Zach are going to do it for you. And when you do it, when you get a great deal, we can work together on it. And the idea is we can do more JV deals across the country by doing this system. Why? Number one, we believe in what we teach. And number two, we believe in you. And if we pair up 2 sets of people that truly want to win, there's nothing that can stop you, because I want to run a marathon in wholesaling. How do I do it? I do it with hundreds of thousands of wholesalers, not 1 or 2 people coaching. So check out the Flip with Rick Plus community. Listen, if there's a wait list, it means it's quality. Like, that's it. That's what we do. And we know our limitations too. We can only seat so many people.
We can only DM and talk to so many people.
Yeah, I know.
So that's the problem. So we're figuring it out. If I had 500 people come to the event, hopefully I'd make it bigger, but I just physically can't. So we're both figuring it out together. So yeah, you go do that. Go do it. Last question from Joel. How's your health habits like at Rick Ginn daily health fitness deals? I'll let you answer that. I do want to answer one thing. Find one wholesaler, okay, that is making $1 million a year in assignment fees plus, that doesn't have a big belly, that's not fat, that is relatively making money, and also their kids don't hate them. There's very rare you find those individuals. It's kind of interesting, right?
Yeah.
They don't have all of them together. Usually there's something, right? Either they're a terrible parent because they let their business run their kids and all. It's crazy. So you got to learn how to do all of them together.
Yeah. So the really cool thing, it's a good question. It's valid. Is remember, you got to walk the walk, man. Like everybody talks, and I remember just deciding. I go, you know what? I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm just going to walk the walk. So I started with wholesaling, and to be honest with you, I was kind of a fat wholesaler. Like not super, but I was never skinny, so to speak. And listen, you have kids, you get in the whole life, and then I decided that I just need to make a change. So my change started with wholesaling. So once I figured out my financial freedom, the rest was just like, what do you really want in life? And you start to ask yourself questions like, what do I do this for? Why do I drink this? Why do I eat that? Why do I, why am I doing this? And the idea is like, you just notice, listen, I'm going to just tell you the truth. Guys in particular, like after college, they're done. They're like, they don't take care of themselves. And why? Because they just feel like there's no hope in life. So once you become financially free and you learn money will not buy you happiness, you got to go out and earn it. So the first thing is to start with your health. You've got to be around for your kids. Listen, your kids, like they look up to superheroes to begin with. So if I'm going to tell my son, like, he's going to go out and wrestle and stuff like that, but his dad's overweight, like sucking wind, trying to do it, like what kind of role model are you going to be? So if you want to be a role model of your kids, if they're looking up to superheroes, I'm not telling you go out and get a six pack, but for God's sakes, be healthy enough so you don't die from a heart attack, that you have energy. Energy is everything. And if you want to have energy to go out on appointments, to do virtual wholesaling, you got to learn to like feed your body nourishment. And the whole idea is wholesaling opens up everything for you. And then you can have you can cater your day and figure out, okay, how can I get it? You can start buying better quality foods and everything. You start looking at everything and you go, man, guys, I'm 54. I still see people in the gyms in their 60s and 70s that look absolutely amazing, but they work on it. And so I don't want to be this big fat guy with a giant belly that I can't play with my grandkids whenever he gets around to it. Because the idea is I want to have energy. I want to have fun. I love to go fishing. And does it get harder when you get older? It does. But if you don't take care of yourself, it's absolutely brutal. So you can have all the money in the world, but if you die, what's the point of it, right? And then the last thing with your kids is like, who else gets to sit in front of a camera and like do the business like with their kids? It's an honor. It's like tickled to death. We have our issues, trust me. Like we battle, but it's like, it's for the health of the business. And he constantly pushes me. I could sit, listen, before Zach came, I could have sat here and cruised along on wholesaling, made plenty of money. You guys, half you wouldn't have known who I was, and I would have been okay with it. But the reality is I love being pushed, and I've got to keep up with energy with him. And so part of like me, just getting even minor surgeries, like I got a little nick. I need to fix it. I'm not going to deal with this the rest of my life. I love to work out. And I want you to, once you open up wholesaling, it opens you up. And I'm not talking about just physical, but you listen, if you've ever lost a loved one, it sucks. So a lot of the stuff we do, you can actually get out in front of it. You can control some of this stuff, but you got to take accountability for your health. And if you're not going to do it and you're just going to go around with a big pot belly, it's on you, man. So like, don't tell people how much weight you're going to lose. Just go out and do it and spend quality time with your family, because life is truly a gift. That's why they call it the present. And I want you to engage it. So go out there. But wholesaling is the gateway to change anything in your life, physically, mentally, spiritually, whatever you want to do. But you got to start. You got to put in the work. So it's whatever you want, because you should learn till the day you die, and you should grow and be better. So that's my rant on it.
Exactly. So guys, if you got any value from this video, make sure you smash the like button, subscribe. Go out here to freewholesaling.com. Learn how to wholesale real estate for free. And I'll see you guys soon. This is Zach Ginn signing out.
Rick Ginn signing out.
See you soon. Thanks, guys.